Hello friends, welcome back. In this session, we are going to learn about application logging. So we will be using SLF4J logging for application for achieving the application logging implementation with the help of a simple Spring Boot application. Okay, so what are the different logging mechanism available? So we have SLF4J logging, that stands for Simple Logging Packet for Java, and then we have other logging frameworks such as Log4j by Apache, and then we have logging Java util logging by Oracle, so which is by default built in the JDK. So why do we need logging? So logging is helpful in your production environments. Basically, if you are debugging some application in your local machine, you will be using the debugger points, or you will be providing some SOPs to debug the debug your application. But in production environment, how will you debug? So for that purpose, we will be using the logging implementation. Okay, so today we'll be looking into the SLF4J logging implementation. So let us get into Eclipse. Okay, so what I have done here is I have created a simple Spring Boot application logging demo with the help of a Spring initializer. Okay, so I'll be walking you through this application code. Okay, so first let us go to the build.gradle file. So here I have added two dependencies. One is Spring Boot starter web dependency. So this I have added through the Spring Boot initializer. Uh, okay, so this will be helpful in creating the RESTful web services. And this is a basic library which is required to run the Spring Boot application. And then I have added one more dependency, that is a starter Spring Boot starter logging dependency, which is not available as part of the Spring Boot Spring initializer. So you have to add it explicitly. So once you add these two dependencies, all the logging files will be configured automatically. Okay, so by default Spring supports SLF4J logging with the logback configurations. Okay, so once you add this dependency, your SL4J, you are good to go ahead with the SL4J logging implementation. Okay, you can start using the SL4J logging implementation in your application. Next we will go to the application.properties file. Here nothing much here. We will be running the application on the 9010 port. Okay, and then so this is a Spring Boot application class. Okay, it's a very simple Spring Boot application class. And then I have defined here a controller class which has one simple endpoint, logging endpoint. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm creating a logger object with the help of the SL4J logging APIs. So here I'm mentioning the current current class, that is nothing but the logger controller class. So whatever the logs I'm writing here, right? So this class logger controller class will be pre-appended to that. I will show you in detail how it will be done. Okay, so here I have defined a endpoint. So in this endpoint method, what I'm doing is I'm just writing a for loop which prints the log messages. So it's very simple, and then finally I'm returning the logging successful string message as a response to this endpoint API call. Okay, so here what I have done is logger.info. There are different methods available basically, so but I'm using the logger.info. Logger.debug method is available, and then the error method is available. These are nothing but the different log levels. So info method you will be using for the simple thing, and error simple logging, and error method you will be using, for example, if your application uh, encounters some an error, so and then you will be catching that error exception, and then that error exception you can log it using the error method. Okay, similarly, if you want to have some logs enabled only during the debug time, so then you can use the debug method, and you give the messages, and you can enable that logging at your configuration level, and you can able to see the debug messages. By default, info and error messages will be displayed in the console, as well as it will be written in the logging file. Okay, so now let us go to the logback.xml file. So here what I have done is, these are the two different appenders. So first one is console appender. So with the help of this console appender class, we are writing all the log messages to the console with this particular pattern. So I will explain you this pattern once I execute this application. And then what I have done is, here I have created a simple, I have created a folder. I have created a folder in the D drive, logs folder, and then that will be my base directory where I will be creating where all my log files are getting created. So the log file name is app.log. With the here, this is an app file rolling appender. The way how we have defined the console appender, we have defined the file rolling appender here. So what happens is, we have defined few more configurations here. So we have defined the rolling policy. What exactly is this is, like when you are writing the application logs into the file, let us say in this case app.log file. So once it exceeds the size, right, let us say here we have defined the maximum file of the size, maximum file size of the log file. So if it exceeds 1 KB, this app.log file, if it exceeds the size 1 KB, automatically the framework will take care of renaming the existing app.log file into the some specified format. I will explain you that part with the help of the example. Okay, uh, with that way it will rename the file, and it will keep on creating the log files in the specified directory. Okay, and then total size of the folder. So here we are mentioning this total size as 20 GB, and then max history we want to keep the files is, like we will be as and when we run the application, it will be keep on creating the log files. So max history of the log files, we want to create it, we want to keep it for 60 days. After that 60 days old files will be automatically removed. Okay, so and then again similar way, the way how we are defining here pattern, we are defining the pattern for the file appender also. This is a similar pattern we are using. Okay, so and then here we have one more XML tag which specifies what type of level you want to define it for the different package structure. So here my package is com.techres.log. So for this package I have defined the log level as info. And then here again we have one more uh, tag, root tag. At the root level also we can mention what is the log level we want to mention. We can mention that here I'm using the info level. And then in the root tag I'm including all my appenders whatever I have defined here, like console appender as well as the file appender. Okay, so again I may come back to this file to explain in detail how exactly this works along with the log files got created. So let me run this application now. Okay, you can see here the log file is getting created. So now my application is up and running on the port 9010. Okay, so let me just refresh this page. I'm accessing that AV REST endpoint whatever I have defined in my logger controller. Okay, so logging is successful. So now I will be able to see the log files here. See, here what I have what the framework is doing is, as I explained in the configuration file, the size of the file we are mentioning it as 1 KB. So once the log file exceeds the 1 KB size, So it will rename the app.log file based in this format, like date format as well as the index format. Okay, 0 1, like this it will continue, keep on continuing. Again, if I run the application, again some more logs got generated. Okay, so just rerun couple of times so that I can see more number of files here. See here, you can able to see now, right? Earlier we are having only app 01 and app.log. Now it got created many number of files. Okay, so based on the size configuration whatever we have defined, it will keep on creating the log files. So let us open this log file here. I'll start explaining you the logging configurations with the help of this file. So if you see, one more thing I missed out, you can see here we are appending the logs into the console as well. Okay, so we are appending the logs into the console as well as into the file system. Okay, so now let me explain you this logging file with this logback XML file. So what we have done here is the pattern what we are defining. Let us say this pattern. So this pattern is nothing but we are mentioning the date and sorry, time. So hour, minute, seconds in this format, and then the tunnel HTTP channel we are using percentile T, and then percentile file level. So it means the info level. I mean logging level. Basically here we have defined it as an info. It is coming as info. If you define it as an error, it will come as an error or debug or whatever. And then finally here we are defining percentage logger, so which means the file name along with the package. Along with the package it will show the file name here. Okay, so since we have given the logs in the logger controller, it is showing here the logger controller class. Okay, and then finally this percentile message, percentile in this format, we are mentioning that the actual message. Okay, so our actual message is logged. So this is the format how we are mentioning how our log data should be. I mean basically loggers should be. So this is this format. We can go ahead and change this format as well based on our needs. Okay, so you can use date also here. Instead of just a time, you can use date as well along with the along with the time, and rest you can use it as it is. This is the standard format which we'll be using it. Okay, so with the help of this you can able to write your application logs into the log file, and then it will be easier for you to debug some debug the application in the production environment. So I hope you have understood this session. So I have committed this code in my GitHub repository. I'll give this I will give that link in the description of the video. So if you like this video, go ahead and like it and subscribe to my channel for further videos. Thank you for watching this. Thanks a lot.